baby-proofing the gutters?
Get down from there.
This minute! Okay.
Drake Bell and Josh Peck. They've grown up on The Amanda Show, battling lobsters, fending off frog puppets, and getting beaten up by girls on a regular basis. So what's next for this dynamic duo? Their own show.
Okay, I've been having fun making these offended by videos. I don't know if you guys think I take it this seriously, but it is fun to talk about in retrospect. Of course, Drake and Josh is one of the most interesting shows to me. Not only have they had controversies in the past, but they have episodes taken down. They have horribly rude endings sometimes. But some of the more crazier stuff happens within the episodes we don't think are good. Yeah, so today we're gonna be going over the worst episodes of Drake and Josh, the ones that are so bad, it pretty much offended me. It made me feel like I was wasting my time, which, spoiler alert, I always am. But this time it was in bad taste. So what's up everybody, it's Johnny2000. Don't forget to subscribe for more 2000s nostalgia. And we're gonna be diving into more shows like Zoe 101 on Fabulous, more Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Sunny with a Chance. So if you like any of those shows, make sure to join me. But without further ado, let's jump into Drake and Josh. So the first season is really short, 6 episodes to be exact, not exactly a long season here. And you know what? They didn't do a great job at varying the episodes a lot. A lot of the same themes are repeated throughout the first season, as they only really had the fact that these guys were stepbrothers as their main plot, so it would more so be one episode is about Drake liking a girl and Josh getting in the way. A second episode is about Josh liking a girl and Drake getting in the way. Like, it's a lot of the same stuff. I feel like what made Drake and Josh really funny overall is when their dynamic really ripened, and it became more of a character ensemble-like show. One of the prime examples of this is the 2 Idiots and a Baby episode from season 1. I think it was episode 4. Yeah, so this episode was a lot of montages.
Drake's really smart, but he's all about having fun. Fun, fun, fun.
The cold open starts us off talking about Drake and Josh's differences. Surprise! But it's a lot more mundane here because they didn't get to the nitty-gritty of what was funny about their characters yet. It starts with Josh literally doing carpentry in the boys' room and Drake and Josh getting a fight over it. Like, why is Josh the one being silly here?
I can't hear you! I'm wearing earplugs! Oh.
It's so funny that, like, Drake is the straight man in a lot of the first season. It just shows that they really didn't know what worked yet. Oh my gosh, and the drum set was taking place of Josh's bed. Where did he sleep before? The couch? That was crazy. Looking back though, I think it was a good decision to move the couch facing the camera as opposed to the side like it is before. So yeah, when they're arguing, Drake uses the guitar as a way of drowning out Josh, which is kind of disrespectful. Like, this is his room.
All right, let's compromise. We could... I was just gonna say, but I just wanted...
And you're moving in. Like, come on. I just realized we never see, like, the actual move-in. Like, even in the pilot, we just get thrown into Drake and Josh's lives. Oh my gosh, and Megan is so young in this episode. The only thing she really does is try to chop Josh's hair off when he's not looking. So I guess her pranks were a little bit more physical than it is actually like mental or psychological, which she's known for in the later seasons.
Megan, you bring up that song right now.
No, I'm gonna go get a snow cone.
Audrey and Walter are going to dinner with Walter's bosses, and Josh volunteers him and Drake to take care of their child, which is kind of crazy because Drake actually has a band rehearsal that night. Josh defends that this is actually something they're trying to do nice for their parents, which is essentially the bane of Drake's existence.
He's trying to get a promotion.
Yeah, well, my band's show tonight is just as important as your dad's dinner.
And we get to see Drake's band again. Aw, I miss all these guys. I wish these were the ones that were in the Storm episode. You tell me these actors didn't want to come back for that? Come on.
Nobody's talking about an alligator.
Well, maybe somebody'd better start before it's too late.
So yeah, of course Drake and Josh don't know how to take care of a baby. It reminds me of Baby's Day Off in the sense that it's event after event of the baby getting into danger because of Drake and Josh, and it's definitely a stressful episode if you care about children. We get a sense of Megan's deviousness a lot in this episode, as she's definitely working against the boys. But yeah, like I said, it's just annoying with all the montages they use. The transitions are a little weird too. They like pop through so quick with these arrows, and I just can't tell how much of this was scripted because it looks like they just improv'd a lot of this episode. Some of the shots don't even seem like natural for Drake and Josh. I do like it though when Drake hits Josh over the head. Them fighting is definitely really funny up in the earlier seasons. Like, I feel like that's the one thing they've kept. But earlier on, this was also a little bit more physical. Like, it's more Drake and Josh doing slapstick comedy as opposed to really funny back and forth banter. The band keeps pushing Drake because he has to go on soon, which is crazy. I can't believe Drake has an actual performance and is taking care of a kid right before. Josh, that's a negative point for you. I do like that we lean into the fact that the guys are clueless and don't really know how to deal with it.
Well,
It's not bad.
Really?
Oh, that is the worst thing I've ever smelled.
I do not like the joke where they're smelling the baby. Like, it's so gross already. Now you have to show me them sniffing it. Ugh, these poor teenagers.
That reeks.
And the catapult that Josh was working on at the beginning of the episode just happens to be a factor in this. Like, that's crazy. So the baby goes missing. He talks about the fact he made a catapult. And of course, they assume that the baby was in the catapult and sent to the roof.
No way.
You see what I'm saying when I was talking about Baby's Day Out vibes? The concern is definitely real, and the stakes are a little too high for what I would consider a Drake and Josh plot. I like how they simplified it and had Drake and Josh getting into situations that were a little bit more against them, in the sense that it pitted them against each other as opposed to them trying to get this goal. So this incident of actually, I don't know, losing the baby forces Josh to call Drake, who's actually about to go perform. Drake faces the moral dilemma when his guitarist actually tells him he should be focused on what he cares about. This is actually kind of annoying because they do this exact scenario in Number One Fan in the second season, where Drake is debating going on a radio show or coming back to his number one fan. And of course, Drake makes the right decision every time. It's a TV show. These are the standards that's forced upon them. But hey, I'd be scared to see what happens if they had creative freedom. But Josh trying to get the baby to say Marco and then Polo is so funny. I don't know why that's just such a genius bit.
I'm running all over the house. The baby won't say Polo.
We do get to see the side of Drake and Josh's house, which is funny because I feel like the worst episodes just happen to feature things that are new or exciting, which is funny because it's like, of course you guys couldn't cling to the script. You had to just give us some lore. Josh impersonates the baby, which I think is genius, but also not even in his character comedy. I feel like this character isn't the funniest at that stuff. But I gotta admit, I did laugh out loud when I heard him on the phone saying goo goo gaga. Like, I can't get over it. Josh accidentally says the word mama, not realizing that the baby never even said mama before. So the mom is like, oh my god, we gotta get home. And the dinner ends early for them. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Josh ends up falling off the ladder and dangling from gutters, which is the perfect time for Drake to come to his senses and actually come home. I do think it's cool for his character to lie that his gig got canceled just to show that he actually wanted to help take care of the baby. Like, it definitely makes him look like a better person. Although, I've never seen Drake look this concerned or serious as a character. I feel like he just gets stupider and stupider as the show goes on. So Drake solves the problem by sniffing out the fact that it was Megan who took the baby. Oh my gosh, Megan. That was a weird kind of low. Like, it's very specific to take a baby from somebody.
Megan! 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 Hey, Megan! At least bring me a snow cone!
Josh ends up falling off the roof and then onto the boss. Oh my gosh, poor Walter. It's his actual son too, so that's like even worse.
Walter,
Yes, sir.
your son is on me.
I'm sorry, sir.
Drake is able to surprise Josh by having the baby back just in time for his parents to come home. So everything is safe and secure. Once again, rewarding the bad behavior, which is kind of funny, actually. It does kind of end on a depressing note as the mom is trying to hear her son to say mama, but he can't get him to say it, so it's kind of depressing. Drake and Josh have more character moments than they need, and they agree that they are good in each other's lives. I don't know what Drake is wearing though, like all denim. This must be like a 90s fiasco. But yeah, pretty unnecessary episode. It kind of brings them together, but they also are brought together at the end of every other episode in this season, so it's not like it's special or, I don't know, necessary. It is funny watching them try to take care of a kid, but like I said before, it feels a lot more montagey than actual plot happening. I do like the catapult idea, but like I said, that seems like something stupid enough for Drake to do, not necessarily Josh. But this early in the series, they were still feeling things out. What can you say?
The baby's missing, the house is destroyed, and my dad's gonna get fired.
It's funny because Dune Buggy and Pilot I've not been able to find on streaming services, which is kind of crazy to me. I feel like those are also not great episodes. Like the first season was definitely trying a lot of things out, but even to reference these things, I couldn't watch them. What the heck?
Because with all the pain and hunger and disease in the world, there's really no better use of my time than to make sure every blessed cup holder is rock solid steady.
Okay, so the reason I'm putting movie job here, debut of the premiere theater. I mean, what more could you want from an episode? There's just something about movie job that just feels like underdeveloped, especially in retrospect, like looking back at what Drake and Josh is so known for, like its characters, its situational comedy. It just feels like it's a little still trying to figure itself out.
No.
Yes.
Oh, Drake, say it's not so.
I'm afraid it's so.
No.
And for me, that's not why I watch Drake and Josh. I don't watch Drake and Josh to see plot develop. I watch it to have a good laugh. And unfortunately, the characters don't feel figured out at this point. Crazy Steve debuts here, and I feel like he's not even himself quite yet, although we do get a hint of Jerry Trainor's neurotic, loud attitude here. I feel like the whole episode is revolving around this one joke.
The only thing you might want to check out is the cup holder in seat 34C. It's a little wobbly.
Well, I'll get my toolkit and have a look at that just as soon as the next movie lets out.
Great.
It's not like the jokes aren't funny in this, it's just they feel less clever than earlier ones. Like this feels like it could be copy and pasted onto any sitcom, less of what makes the characters of Drake and Josh unique. Drake and Josh go to the theater they always go to, and we see that they love watching movies, which is kind of nice. It's nice that there's a little bit of a through line for this.
I love the way the director used hot girls as a symbol for, hot girls.
People keep going up to him and asking him if he works there, and asking him questions about the theaters, which doesn't make any sense because he doesn't work there. They have nuns come in, which I did not expect this early in the series.
Excuse me, son. What time does Buckets of Blood begin?
Well, there's a show at 7:50, but instead, might I recommend Headless Honeymoon?
They're looking to see something gory and bloody, which is like kind of crazy for nuns, but definitely funny for a teenager. And it bothers me how into it these nun actors get. Like, are they real nuns? Because they seem to be really into Josh. And Josh is a teenager. The funny thing is that Helen is immediately the funniest version of Helen there is, off the bat.
You made Crazy Steve quit? You hired a guy named Crazy Steve?
Had to. Long story, not pretty.
So Yvette Nicole Brown is such a good actress that she's already season 4 Helen in her entrance.
See, a couple years back, Crazy Steve found out my niece was having her bat mitzvah, and he got upset because he wasn't invited. So while we were all in the temple, Crazy Steve showed up and slashed everybody's tires.
It's like, it's so crazy how good you have to be to do something like that. Yeah, but she hires Josh, and labor laws don't really matter immediately. I also used to work at the movie theater. I remember I had a badge with my favorite movie on it, and it was the SpongeBob movie. Don't make fun of me, please. So Josh comes home pretty quickly and frustrated at his new job and all the stuff he has to deal with, which is so funny because he's like already a 40-year-old man at, I don't know, 15 at this point. He really wants to be the assistant manager and trade in his red vest for a gold one, which is actually kind of funny because it takes like 3 seasons and a finale for that to actually happen, but I don't want to break it to him here. I feel like he's getting too into it. Let him enjoy this. He's got the new iBot phone, and already the show has dated itself.
I got paid yesterday. Money!
Drake only is interested when he talks about the prospect of making so much money, and then, of course, as kids, we're like, wow, I guess having a job is the dream job. Whoa, ironic, right? This episode also begins the long-running joke of Drake insisting that he has access to all the perks that Josh does, which is kind of crazy. I feel like I would be too scared to say no to my brother in this scenario, especially if it's like a new job and he's asking for perks. Like, what am I supposed to do about that? Drake admits that he wants a job too because he is out of cash and he can't afford his dates anymore, which is so funny that that's the reason all of this starts. Drake says that he could just work at the premiere, and if I were Josh, I'd be really angry and I'd be like, what makes you think that's gonna happen? Like, you're not entitled to a job.
Don't get your hopes up. She's really tough, and it's not like she just hands out jobs.
Hey, Helen, can I have a job?
Sure, start tomorrow.
And then, of course, Drake asks Helen and immediately gets it, like as if it's no big deal. But good for Josh. He's very peppy in this season, very optimistic and excited to work with Drake, which your optimism is not going to last, Josh.
Last year you gave him a coupon book that you found in a dumpster.
It is kind of trippy watching Drake in a premiere vest, especially since for the rest of the show, this will never happen again. This episode is a perfect example of the Dan Schneider universe always rewarding bad behavior.
Clean up these straw wrappers.
Like, this whole episode is Drake talking his way out of issues and ending up rewarded for it. Like, these little girls go into an R-rated movie, it's Megan and her friends, and Drake justifies why.
PG-13 is actually PG-9.
I know, metrics.
So I didn't want to create an international incident.
Smart.
With Helen only getting him, like, promotion after promotion following this event. Josh is, like, the only one that's, like, realizing how messed up this is, and I feel like it's the beginning of Josh's, like, utter resentment toward Drake. I know we're only in the second season, but, like, what else could this possibly be? I feel like if it wasn't for Josh's dramatic, repetitive outbursts, this episode wouldn't even be interesting. And of course, Drake gets promoted up to the gold sash, something that Josh was never able to do. Helen keeps looking at Josh as if she doesn't know who he is, which, Helen, there is like less than like 3 employees at this place. You can't even remember Josh, like the one that's in the lobby. Come on, Helen. Josh ends up taking a jar of honey and, correct me if I'm wrong, Tyrannosaurus Rex, and he makes them talk to each other.
We have a gold vet for you right here.
It's just my size.
Fantasizing about getting a promotion. Of course, there's this father-son talk, which never really happens in the later seasons, but I like it when Walter's attempting to connect with his son. I feel like it's really genuine, and it connects us to him being a newscaster. I feel like it's one of the earlier times we even know he does that. Josh takes away from the conversation that he needs to do something to impress Helen, inspiring him to do a little giveaway. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but this is kind of an iconic moment. Basically, Josh puts a bunch of popcorn buckets on the counter, and one of them has a gold ball. When he tells everybody in the premiere about it, it causes a giant, chaotic mess.
Now, if everyone will please form an orderly line, I would be happy to give you all the...
You gotta admit, though, this is such an iconic moment, and it's so funny watching everybody straightforward beat up each other as this is going on. And listen to Drake watching, like, he has to be the straight man in this scenario. I can't believe that Drake is pushed to actually do something responsible, like tell Josh this is stupid. But that's all he does. He doesn't like take an active action to do anything about it. He just watches the fight go down. And as people are taken out on gurneys and the entire floor is covered in popcorn, Josh is pretty much screwed at this point. So he has to go to Helen, admit what he did, and immediately get fired. But wait, Drake comes in and actually has a big heart in this episode. He decides to save the day by taking the fall for the popcorn incident.
It says right here in the corporate handbook, anytime the paramedics are called, someone must be fired.
So Helen fires Drake, but he still somehow makes the episode genuine. And we end on Helen not even remembering Josh worked there in the first place. So does it even matter? No. And of course, we get rewarded for lying. This episode felt like kind of a waste of time. I mean, except for the fact it set up Crazy Steve, it set up the premiere, it set up Helen, and it set up Drake being the straight man for once. Is the cost worth the price? No. Of course, this is such a fun show. It's like hard to almost pick apart the things I think are negative, because it's not going to be anything like Victorious or iCarly. But that's a good thing. There's nothing overtly offensive about any of this stuff. It's not really a negative episode. It's essentially a Josh-centric funny episode, but only he's the funny part. If we're talking about the second season though, I do have to shout out Little Diva. You know, the episode where Drake and Josh have to watch after a celebrity child, but then she ends up being knocked unconscious, so Drake and Josh have to take her to the premiere and actually make her give a speech. I just feel like the Weekend at Bernie's parody doesn't really sit well with fans, like, especially me, somebody who never really watched that movie or knew about that joke. Like, the concept of somebody being passed out but still needs to go through life as if they're not is funny, but, like, it's a little too dark funny than it is, like, outward funny. And I see a lot of people online also complain about it. I know it was definitely not one of the favorites, but that's probably why it's taken off some of these streaming services. We can't not talk about my boy Citrus though. I loved that character in this episode. It sucks when shows this good have episodes this bad because they're so swept under the rug because of how good the show is that we forget about even just the small moments that might have been funny. Like, this whole episode didn't need to be thrown out just because majority of the plot wasn't interesting or kind of creepy, honestly. But hey, then I guess the entire series of Victorious wouldn't even be around now, would it? Ooh, got him. But yeah, I talk more about this episode specifically in my Banned Drake and Josh episodes video. You guys should definitely check that out. And if you're in the mood to see something that isn't that interesting, definitely check out Little Diva from season 2. Oh wait, I would be crazy if I didn't talk about the Helen recasting. Yeah, they had a different actress play Helen for one episode of this show. Immediate negative 10 points, Drake and Josh. That's so stupid. Especially with my favorite bodyguard, Roxy from Hannah Montana. Yeah, that actress is the one from Hannah Montana. She's really good at what she does, and I honestly forgot that Helen was even replaced for a single episode. But this is big enough of an issue that you definitely could have got away with having the other character still there. Like, I don't know why Drake and Josh didn't think this would be a good character in the beginning of the series. Like, Helen in Movie Job was so funny. They should have known that they would need this specific actress time and time again if they wanted to keep the show funny, and I don't know what was going over their heads. Okay, so the first 2 seasons of Drake and Josh are out of the way. I feel like it's no secret that they are some of the least strongest episodes in the series. So now we're getting to the real Drake and Josh, the parts that me and you all grew up with watching new episodes one at a time, seasons 3 and 4. With season 3 specifically, right before the show got to super peak, there were 2 episodes that really started to bore me. Not just because they were basic plot lines or didn't necessarily have anything interesting going on, but they both kind of annoy me. So let's talk about them. So the next episode we have is Girl Power. So Drake wants to break up with his girlfriend Lucy after finding out that she possibly is tougher than he is.
I'm not done with you.
I beg to differ. Now you and your little hoodlum friends get out of my movie theater before I pop you like a zit. Move it!
But he challenges her to a fight to prove that he is tougher than her. And I like this episode's premise because it's not a lot that we talk about gender norms anymore, but like the fact that Drake is falling into them and it's kind of a lesson about coming out of them, like this is what TV should be made for. Like,
You weren't even looking. Okay, Lucy is not tougher than you.
Yeah, I guess you did kind of catch me off guard.
accidents like this, like misinterpretations of gender, like that's, like overcoming that is where real stories come in, and I'm happy they have episodes like this. Meanwhile, Josh tries to impress Mindy's parents so he can continue to date her.
That flickering bulb is giving me a headache.
Huh? Well, it's probably just Lucy. I could fix her. Now, who would like some chicken?
He later organizes a dinner with all of them at his house to prove that he is a stand-up boyfriend, but it happens to fall under the same night that Drake and Lucy are planning on fighting.
Drake, you know how hard it was for me to convince Mindy's parents to come here and have dinner, all right? This is my last chance to impress them, and if I don't, they're not gonna let me date Mindy anymore.
So she's icky.
It's normal that you see an episode with a guy challenging his bully to fight, but like a boyfriend and a girlfriend fight? Like, this is so weird. Josh is concerned that the fight will ruin his chances of impressing Mindy's parents, so he makes Drake and Lucy wrestle upstairs in the bedroom, where Megan is waiting to watch the fight with her groups of friends cheering them on, which is so funny.
You can't throw us out. I charge these people $10 admission.
You charge us $20 each.
But during the dinner, Drake and Lucy wrestle their way into the living room during the dinner. Josh gets so upset about how Drake ruins his plans, he calls him out in the worst way it's ever been in the series so far. But it's understandable, like, Josh really cares for Mindy.
All right. It's a draw!
Mindy's parents see how much Josh cares for their daughter and allow her and Josh to keep dating because of his commitment.
What were you two fighting about?
Because he didn't believe that I was tougher than him.
Well, of course you're not.
Huh?
Physically, boys are genetically superior to girls.
And then Mindy's dad asks Drake and Lucy why they were fighting, causing Mr. and Mrs. Crenshaw to fight each other and see who's tougher, which is super funny. During the end, Josh tries to pick up a piece of chicken for his dinner by using his fork, but Mindy's brother Aiden gets mad because Josh picked the piece of chicken he wanted and he leaves the dinner table, which is funny. So Lucy actually does come back in the Storm episode, but this is like one of the only times she's here.
I just made a date to fight my girlfriend.
This is definitely a good episode for Mindy. The Josh and Mindy storyline is actually kind of sweet. Like, I like following their relationship through its ebbs and flows because, let's face it, there's a lot of evs. But Drake is definitely hitting a new low in this one. I feel like seeing him be this sexist is crossing a line. I mean, it's one thing to be into girls and date them all the time, but he's always kind of had like a line drawn. It's not until the later seasons that they keep running out of ways to cross that line or make Drake seem more like a player. But in this episode, it's taken so much further, and even Josh is kind of sexist too. But I kind of like that he's sexist, because it's like, we all have a little bit of sexism in us, like, about the gender we don't really know super well, so of course you're going to make assumptions, and that's kind of what they're doing in this episode. However, I do think that Drake's is a little too far, especially given how he is in this whole show. Moral of the story, you could have wrote funnier jokes in different ways. I'm not trying to be super critical. I still like the episode. I still think there's a lot of really funny jokes in here. I am so glad we get to meet Mindy's family and see Josh act like an idiot in front of them. Like, I am at the floor with some of those jokes.
You're hurting my hand.
Sorry. My fault.
Clearly.
This is like the only appearances of Mindy's parents and her younger brother, and the Aiden scene was cut out from the episode itself, but it was shown during the end credits.
Okay, here.
I don't know. I don't want it after you put your fork in it.
Okay, well, how about this one?
I don't like the breast.
Well, who knew?
Then we have a strong premise because of the whole gender against each other, and I really like that. And having Josh have to deal with Mindy and her family at the same time definitely was a formula for chaos in a really inviting way. But at the end of the day, the jokes didn't outweigh the plot line. It just felt a little bit boring. It felt funny, but the rest wasn't as good. Then we have Sheep Thrills. So Megan bought a machine that shoots paintballs. At first convincing Drake it will shoot Josh, only for it to shoot Drake instead.
What just happened? You said you were gonna get Josh. Huh?
And then Josh to shoot back, causing them to fight. Then Drake and Josh eat pudding, talk about how Drake barely passes his algebra test.
An intruder. We better go wake up Dad.
Yeah, I don't think a burglar's gonna be afraid of a weatherman wearing footsie pajamas.
They hear a strange noise in the garage, only to find out that Megan actually adopted a sheep named Bob, which is a super funny joke.
You hit me repeatedly!
What up with the sheep?
It's her secret pet that she ordered online. She talks to Drake and Josh about temporarily babysitting her pet sheep, which kind of gives me the vibes of the babysitting episode of Drake and Josh from season 1, Two Idiots and a Baby. That was a really funny one.
If you two hide him, just till I figure out a way to explain him to Mom and Dad.
Yeah. What?
I promise not to pull any pranks on you for 3 months.
For real? You swear?
Swear.
Think about it.
We'll do it.
Bob ends up giving birth to a baby lamb on Drake's bed after being assisted by Dr. Jeff Glazer.
If you want my diagnosis, I'd say that Bob was pregnant. Was. Pregnant. Not anymore. It's $100.
When Megan's out, Drake and Josh have to hide the sheep from their parents. So when Audrey and Walter go upstairs, they both become super suspicious.
What? Oh, something in my eye! Something in his eye!
Pinging sound whenever I'm...
I'm so black!
I'm so alarmed by the pinging sound.
I don't know how the parents aren't even more suspicious, and I always thought this part was really funny when I was a kid.
It might be coming from the alternator unless...
Whoa! Josh, what are you doing? I don't know,
Like, there's no way you can realistically convince your father you have a reason to shut the car door on his face. After all these horrible attempts to keep this a secret, surprise, surprise, Walter and Audrey finally show up. It's about time.
They're suspicious!
They try to tell him it was Megan's fault, but their parents don't believe them, of course, because Megan is viewed as the nice child.
So you want us to believe that a sweet little 11-year-old girl somehow managed to go on the internet and buy herself a pregnant sheep?
It does sound unlikely. It's true! It's true!
When Megan goes into Drake and Josh's room, she pretends she's never seen him, causing Drake and Josh to get grounded for a month, and it's just like they give up completely.
How long are we grounded?
A month. Fair enough.
After that, Bob and the lamb end up going to the petting zoo. A month later, the night before Drake and Josh are free from their punishment, the boys discover that Megan actually bought a zebra, which they choose not to do anything with. And it's super funny. Like, I love that Megan put them in this position. And this, I feel like, this dynamic would have been really funny in season 1 as opposed to, like, just a random lady and her baby. Like, I like that Megan is in the plot. Megan technically broke her promise and lied about pulling pranks for the 3 months, because the sheep thing definitely counts as a prank. Bob was pregnant, diagnosed by Dr. Glazer. It's been discovered that she gave birth to a lamb on Drake's bed. Drake manages to feed some Diet Mocha Cola to the lamb. The episode was initially going to be about kangaroos, which were harmful and vicious according to the episode's cast and crew members, instead of the sheep. In many, if not all, subsequent episodes, a no kangaroo sign is visible in Drake and Josh's bedroom. Josh wears the same shirt in the beginning of the episode that he did in the second half of Foam Finger, which is interesting. And it's super unknown how Megan got the zebra. Like, that's ridiculous. This was one of the last episodes to air in 2005. Wow, they really spread across these episodes. This episode marks the last appearance of Dr. Jeff Glazer. I'm not sure if you remember him from The Bet or Little Diva, those band episode stuff we did. He's such a funny recurring character. Okay, now that we've covered season 3 with 2 of the episodes I'm thinking are not so popular, let's move on to the 4th and final season of Drake and Josh. You guys are not going to like my picks for this, just fair warning. This whole season is really good, so just buckle down. So season 4, episode 8 is The Storm. So in the talking head, Drake and Josh talk about the things in life that don't go as planned, and Josh has a story about how he had an unfortunate dentist appointment, and Drake apparently had the best time of his life, where apparently the doctor gave him $200 and to go on a date with his daughter. I don't see a world where that happened, but whatever.
Instead, I end up with a hot girl, $200, and a half dozen free burritos.
I spent 3 hours having a sneezy dentist sew up my tongue hole!
So we see Drake practicing with his band, and even though it's episode 8, we're reminded that he isn't just plain stupid. Like, he's actually hard on his band, and I like seeing Drake like this. He's more assertive, he's a little bossy. It's funny that he actually does get some character traits from Josh.
A minor, not an A7. And you? Dude, you're wearing a woman's shirt.
It's called a blouse.
I don't know who all these people in his band are. Like, maybe it happened off screen, but still, like, no one is recognizable. I missed the season 1 band. Apparently a Mid-City Records producer is going to be at the show they're about to perform, and it's super important. I know the finale talks about his music career, but like, it's just so intermittent between the episodes when he's striving for his passion and just plain stupid. I feel like the last time we saw this was in the Go Hollywood movie. I guess it just took 8 episodes to even get there here. Apparently he rented a bus for Drake, which is very sweet. Like, he didn't have to do that. I feel like Drake's gonna do something worse to make him resentful of him anyway. Walter talks about Bruce Windshield again, tries to get better hair just to show off.
If it's a 5-day forecast, shouldn't it really be called a 5-cast? Get it?
Oh, Dad.
And this one guy in the band's sister takes his shirt back, so he has to be completely shirtless. And there's a tattoo of a foot on his chest. Why? Why is this necessary? Is this an insinuation for something? I don't even know. So everybody's at the house celebrating Drake's gig. Helen insults their drink and pours it into the plant.
Josh's world-famous limeade.
This limeade tastes like mucus.
Is like, you're a guest in the house. The drummer keeps taking different girls' shirts, like he has Megan's shirt on now. Like, why can't he just borrow from the dad or Drake or Josh?
I wanted one with a panda on it.
Just burn it when you're done.
And it's like literally a bunch of the characters just being weird. We even have Crazy Steve needing to learn temper control throughout this episode. And Gavin and Walter kind of fight over Audrey, with Gavin trying to make a move on her, not worried that she's married, which is, okay.
Your mom's hot.
Dude!
How tall is she? Like 5'2", 5'10"?
I'll measure her later and let you know.
Don't forget.
Drake is very rude to Craig and Eric again and doesn't even know their names here. They talk to Drake about having a girlfriend, which I didn't realize was a continuous plot considering that popcorn girl from the last episode. Drake recruits Megan to help keep his exes apart. Jesus, Josh invited the worst people to bring to this party. Like, why are we congratulating him? Drake is at the forefront of this episode, which is kind of funny because he has to be the straight man in order for this to have a lot of plot.
Problem?
I told you to keep them apart.
I know.
Then what happened?
I got them all together.
Pacing is so quick with so many things happening, it feels like it just kind of flies by.
Would either of you guys like the last stuffed mushroom?
Sure, I'd love to.
Craig and Eric are flattered by Audrey too, which is like, why is everybody into Drake and Josh's mom? Like, there's so many appropriately aged girls at this party. Like, why are they only hitting on the woman that's an adult? Walter's in trouble for not getting the weather right and is told that he has to go out and report it. Where is Josh? I feel like it's being juggled between Drake and his mom more than anybody in this episode. I learned later that Josh just wasn't here for most of the filming, but I don't know, it's a nice change of pace. So Walter is told he has to go out in the weather and report. The weather gets worse and everybody tries to keep their heads up that they're still going to be able to perform. They announce pretty quickly that the entire concert's underwater and they can't really do it.
I got wet.
And then the electricity goes out, so they almost have like a new problem.
My uncle's got a boat.
Yeah, well, that's great, Gary. Why don't you climb into your uncle's boat and sail off to Moron Island?
They get a TV to work, but it only can work by being cranked, and they forced Craig to do it, so that's not really cool.
Come on, Dora, it's right over there! Obre los ojos! Come on!
Walter reports in the rain on the TV, which actually does look pretty dangerous, and Gavin keeps hitting on Audrey. This is probably Crazy Steve's longest episode thus far. Like, I like seeing him a lot in this, and his anger issues are completely unhinged.
Do you mind if I go back to my program?
Sure.
Can I rest for 10
Dora!
And Miranda and Jerry Traynor here. Seeing them in the same, like, scene is, like, very nostalgic. It feels like iCarly already. So Drake sees the girls giggling and gets insecure, tries to spy on them, and it's really funny because Gavin and the drummer also spy, which makes it obvious, and the girls find him there. How do you cover this up?
Shh. I'm trying to hear what my girlfriend's talking about with my ex-girlfriends.
I called my uncle. He sold the boat. Hi, I'm Gary. Gavin. Okay.
Oh, would you guys get out of here?
So on the TV, Walter gets mugged during his weather report. So Megan tries to cause trouble by suggesting to her mom that they fix the gutters on the roof. And I don't know why his mom would enforce this right now, especially with the dangerous weather, but she does make him do it anyway. And he says, I don't do things like that, which is very true. His character really doesn't. But like the whole company's over. Like, why would Drake go to the roof and do this? He ends up making Eric do it, which is even worse.
But it's pouring rain. What if I slip and fall off the roof?
All right, there's a rope in the garage. Tie yourself to the chimney, you'll be fine.
Drake is just such a disrespectful person. So Drake finally figures out what the girls are talking about. Apparently they were saying who the best kisser was, and it was him, but they want him to tell them who the best kisser is between them. I don't know why it wouldn't be obvious for him to just say the current girl. Like, obviously he doesn't want to go through a breakup, so just say the girl you're with now.
It broke! The crank broke!
In the end, Helen gets everybody to sing We Will Rock You. This character is such a mystery. Like, from her past on a sitcom to singing, like, I don't know what Helen is up to. I sung this song when I was in 5th grade. I wish they sung, like, a better song, though. And then the nerds even have a solo in this, which is funny. I guess the moral of the episode is that you could have a fun time with other people when your concert gets canceled. I don't really follow. So this is one of my least favorite of those bottle episodes where Drake and Josh get stuck in one place. There's just something about it. I mean, maybe the fact that Josh is absent, but I didn't really notice it. They did a good job at that. I think the character comedy is the strongest in this, like jumping from different person to different person. We got a really good taste of the nerds, Gavin, Crazy Steve. Like, it hit a lot of really good nerves. But the fact that it ends on kind of like a bittersweet note with nothing being resolved, and the episode originally wasn't really about making the best of a bad situation, I don't know. It feels like it was just like an insert, a stall episode. I'm not saying it was bad. I feel like every episode in Drake and Josh season 4 is phenomenal, but it was definitely one of the least phenomenal ones, I would say. And finally, we have Dance Contest, which of course is not the actual final episode, but you know what? It was aired last, so it technically is. In the opening, Drake and Josh come up with a challenge to drink as many cups of coffee as possible, and I'm really worried they're gonna die through this. Like, there's so much caffeine in these things.
He said that. Oh, yeah, that's what he said. He said it.
That makes 26.
26 down. Come on.
Josh pretty much goes crazy in it, and Drake only drinks decaf, which is not fair, Drake. They throw Eric a going-away party, taking place at Drake and Josh's house, which is super boring. And Drake just wants to get out of it, which, that's not cool, Drake. He's so disrespectful to these guys.
If you're gonna leave, then leave.
You promised you wouldn't do this.
What's up, Craig?
I'm not in the mood to talk.
To please everybody, Josh ends up showing off his super intense dance move, and it makes the party liven up. And everybody convinces him that he should be going on the Dancing with the Stars parody. This would not only show off his skills, but finally beat Mindy into being number 1.
Well, I thought you brought her.
Nope.
Excuse me, but who are you?
Were you invited to this party?
Meanwhile, Drake is being told that he's doing poorly in school, almost getting kicked out of gym class for no attendance. It's really funny that this is what stops him from graduating, but it's still irresponsible as heck.
What to do? Why didn't you tell me that earlier?
You never come to class!
Okay. What if I come to class every day for the rest of the semester?
Too late. You still wouldn't have enough credits to pass.
Josh tells him to start focusing on his homework, but he cannot get himself to commit to anything. When he realizes the seriousness of it, he decides to enter a dance contest because apparently that would allow him to receive extra credit. I don't know how the two connect, but okay. At the premiere, Josh talks to this girl named Emily, who is going to be his dance partner. She's actually professional and has been the best dancer in San Diego.
I don't know, I've just always loved to dance.
It's cool.
Josh, we gotta talk. I'm gonna fail gym.
I'm kind of with a person here.
Oh, sorry. Hi, I'm Drake, Josh's brother. Nice to meet you. Can I have a sip of this? Ah, thanks.
Drake talks to Emily himself, and Josh is forced by his boss to take care of gangsters in a movie theater on Josh's day off. That is like the 3rd time Josh is like forced to work.
Sorry, I'm not working today. It's my day off.
5, 4, 3.
You know, you can't make me work on my day off.
2, 1.
Quiet down, hoodlums!
So later, it turns out that Drake steals Josh's partner to enter the dance competition himself, which is super rude. That's like one of the worst things I feel like Drake could do to Josh. Like, it's not his responsibility, you're failing.
I thought we were dance partners.
Well, after you and I talked, Drake asked me to be his dance partner.
Why would you say yes to Drake when you already said yes to me?
Because Drake gave me a digital camera.
That's my digital camera.
So Josh has to get a new partner, Vilga.
Yes, these are the bad people I told you about. Drake, Emily, I'd like you to meet my new and improved dance partner, Vilga.
When they're actually at the competition, Emily and Vilga fight again and are completely disqualified from the competition.
You just pushed me? It was not the wind.
Oh, all right.
The only way Drake and Josh could actually do it is if they did it together. So they put on this amazing show in front of an audience and entertains everybody. They end up winning, and Audrey and Megan are super shocked that they're actually that good at it, and so am I.
I knew you'd win! You guys are so awesome!
And at the end, we see Drake's gym teacher asking Audrey about how Walter was lost at sea.
I'm not a rich man, but I do live in a very nice trailer. Nothing fancy, but I got a good TV, a coffee maker, toilet.
And tries to woo her, so one last hitting on Audrey, I guess, for the series. Overall, weird finale, definitely doesn't work as one. But it's an episode that Audrey's in instead of Walter, which is not usual. Dance contest just really didn't interest me. Like, it felt like it was just trying to parody the Blues Brothers episode. If the dance number wasn't so long, I probably would think it was better, but I just feel like so little happens in this episode when it does. Like, I like the conflict between Drake and Josh against each other. It's been a while since we had, like, a bet-type episode, but this feels like one of them. And the comedy in this was really funny, but it felt like it teetered off to be a little too random for me. And if it wasn't positioned as the final episode in the series, I probably wouldn't be so biased, but it really bothers me that that's true. Overall, we had a lot of crazy experiences with Drake and Josh, and we're still having them, like, 20 years later. There was a lot of questionable things going on throughout this show. We don't even have to talk about behind the scenes. But in the content they presented us, they really thought they could get away with some hidden things. I also can't forget in season 1 when Drake was going to the bathroom and Walter was trying to talk to him. You guys could look up that scene on your own as if it's a really big deal. But yeah, these were the episodes I really wasn't that fond of, I would dare say offended by, because they either wasted my time, I thought they were too mundane, or just overall wasn't the best form that Drake and Josh could take on. Like, this is a legendary show that Nickelodeon was absolutely peaking because of. So in a way, we owe it to some of these episodes to thank it for its legacy, because every legacy has to have some negative things happen. But yeah, I'm curious what you guys think about what I said. I know a lot of people are not going to like some of my choices, but remember guys, it's my opinion, I'm allowed to feel. No, but seriously, I'm allowed to feel. There's just something about these episodes that rubbed me the wrong way, and I'm allowed to feel that way. So until next time, everybody, thank you guys so much for tuning into Johnny 2000s. I always love going over this 2000s content with you guys. And we continue to grow by the day, so thank you guys for liking and sharing, and please keep it up, because YouTube is a fragile ecosystem, and I want to keep doing what I'm enjoying doing. And don't forget my link in the description for my musicals if anybody's interested in hearing any of my nice jams.
They've always called me sissy boy. No, that's not me. Maybe because I like to sit down when I pee. They always call me sissy boy when I say I'm sad. No, I'm not a sissy boy. I'm a sissy man.
But yeah, this is Johnny 2000 getting ready to sign off. Thank you guys so much and have a great day.